Learn to love yourself more than anyone else. The secret to inner peace and self-worth. One of the most important truths in life is this: if you do not value yourself, you cannot expect others to value you either. Many people spend their lives giving everything to others, their time, energy, attention, and love, yet they still feel unappreciated, overlooked, and emotionally exhausted. They wonder why they are not receiving the same care they freely give away. The answer often lies in the relationship they have with themselves. When you constantly put other people first and ignore your own needs, you slowly lose touch with who you are. You become so focused on making everyone else happy that you forget your own happiness matters too. At first, this may seem like kindness or generosity, but over time, it can turn into self-neglect. The more you ignore your own needs, the more you teach others to do the same. Self-love is not about being selfish or believing you are better than anyone else. It is about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with the same respect, kindness, and compassion that you give to others. It means understanding that your feelings matter, your time matters, and your well-being matters. Many people depend on external validation to feel valuable. They seek approval from friends, family, co-workers, or social media. They feel good when others praise them and feel broken when they are criticized or ignored. The problem with this approach is that your self-worth becomes dependent on something you cannot control. People's opinions change, their moods change, their attention comes and goes. If your confidence depends on their approval, your happiness will always be unstable. True confidence comes from within. It begins when you stop asking the world for permission to feel worthy. It begins when you accept yourself completely, including your imperfections. Every successful person has made mistakes. Every strong person has experienced failure. The difference is that they did not allow those failures to define them. Instead, they learned, grew, and moved forward. One of the biggest obstacles to self-love is the habit of self-abandonment. This happens every time you ignore your feelings, suppress your voice, or sacrifice your needs just to avoid disappointing someone else. Maybe you say yes when you really want to say no. Maybe you stay silent when something hurts you. Maybe you continue giving even when you have nothing left to give. These small decisions may not seem important, but over time, they create a pattern that weakens your sense of self. The truth is that every time you choose everyone else over yourself, you send yourself a message that your needs are not important. Eventually, you begin to believe that message. You start feeling invisible, exhausted, and disconnected from who you truly are. This is why healthy boundaries are so important. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are guidelines that protect your peace, your energy, and your emotional well-being. Learning to say no is not selfish, it is necessary. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you may be saying no to something that nourishes you. Many people fear setting boundaries because they worry about how others will react. They fear rejection, criticism, or conflict. But the reality is that healthy relationships respect boundaries. People who genuinely care about you will understand your need for balance. Those who become angry when you set boundaries were often benefiting from the absence of them. Another important part of self-love is the way you talk to yourself. Most people are far harsher with themselves than they would ever be with anyone else. They replay mistakes, focus on weaknesses, and constantly criticize themselves. Imagine speaking to a close friend the way you speak to yourself. Would that friend feel encouraged or defeated? Your inner voice has incredible power. It shapes your confidence, your emotions, and your decisions. When that voice constantly tells you that you are not good enough, your confidence suffers. But when you begin speaking to yourself with patience and understanding, everything starts to change. Instead of saying, "I always fail," try saying, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from it." Instead of saying, "I'm not capable," remind yourself, "I'm still growing, and growth takes time." These small changes may seem simple, but over time they create a completely different mindset. The words you repeat to yourself become the beliefs that shape your reality. Spending time alone is another powerful way to reconnect with yourself. Many people fear solitude because it forces them to face their thoughts and emotions. They stay busy with distractions, conversations, and endless entertainment because silence feels uncomfortable. But solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is feeling disconnected from yourself and others. Solitude is choosing to spend time with yourself so you can understand who you truly are. When you spend time alone, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You discover what truly matters to you rather than what others expect from you. You gain clarity about your goals, your values, and your dreams. Most importantly, you learn that your happiness does not depend on constant attention or approval from others. As your relationship with yourself grows stronger, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to prove your worth. You stop changing yourself to fit into places where you do not belong. Instead, you begin to move through life with quiet confidence. You make decisions based on your values rather than fear. You speak with honesty instead of seeking approval. You trust yourself instead of doubting every choice. You protect your energy instead of giving it away freely. This transformation does not happen overnight. Self-love is not a destination you reach once and never think about again. It is a daily practice. It is built through small choices made consistently over time. It is choosing rest when you are exhausted. It is choosing kindness when you make a mistake. It is choosing boundaries when your peace is threatened. It is choosing growth when life becomes difficult. Most importantly, it is choosing yourself again and again, even when it feels uncomfortable. There will still be days when you doubt yourself. There will still be moments when old habits try to return. But self-love means continuing to support yourself through those moments rather than turning against yourself. The strongest relationship you will ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. Every other relationship in your life is influenced by it. When that relationship is healthy, everything else improves. You become more confident, more peaceful, and more emotionally resilient. Remember this powerful truth. No one will ever value you more than you value yourself. The moment you start respecting your own worth, protecting your peace, and honoring your needs, your entire life begins to change. Love yourself enough to stop settling. Respect yourself enough to set boundaries. Believe in yourself enough to trust your journey. Because when you truly learn to love yourself, you unlock a level of peace, confidence, and freedom that no one can take away from you.